New guy's coming in today. He's, like I said yesterday, he's gonna be a part-timer. Well, the other guy that worked with me last year, he was wanting to come out here, but he's wanting to dictate too much to me. If you're a guy like me, and I'm not saying I'm right, wrong, or whatever, but you're not going to dictate to me how things are going to go down if you're working for me and I'm paying you. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to ever even. And that may be one of the reasons why I'm not, a big outfit or whatever. I'm not going to allow guys come out here and tell me what they're going to do and what they ain't going to do, who they're going to work with and who they're not going to work with. At the end of the day, you can't come on like that. Now, if you're out here for a while and you got a little clout with me through hard work and dedication, loyalty, and all that, then hey, if you want to make a decision about an employee that's working under you, then hey, I'm all for that, because you will know the employee better than me. But you ain't coming in like that. You believe that. And I feel like the guy that I've been trying to get to run the other truck, see, I feel like he's not. He's almost like he's trying to debo it, like he's gonna make me work him. I mean, he didn't say that, but I'm not going to show the text message, but he, I don't know, man. Not gonna. Well, at the end of the day, man, I run this, and I hate to sound so dickheadish about it, but that's what it is. I run this, and if you don't like it, you're not changing anything by coming out here or not. Especially when I've been trying to get you to make a commitment to come out here for the last 2.5 months, and got all these had surgery. First of all, it was yeah, man, after surgery I'll be able to do blah 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 in 5 or 6 weeks. And so, and that was supposed to have been in the very beginning of April. And then broke his foot. So the business is not going to be going through all that. I need somebody out here, man. And then the rain that we've had kind of just magnified how bad I need somebody. Ray, I thought you weren't going to hire nobody. I thought you weren't going to run the other truck. See, Ray, you be bullshitting, man. You don't even know what you want to do. Well, I mean, I hate to say it like that, but you're somewhat correct. I want to make money, and I know how to do that, and I do make money. And this is the first season that I went into the season in the last 8 years or so with only one truck. Now, a lot of things have changed. People say, well, how are you making as much money then? Well, a lot of things have changed in the last 8 years. The number one thing that's changed is my density is 10 times better. And I've gotten rid of some of the customers that always suck up a lot of time. They pay and everything, but they suck up a lot of time. And by doing that, I've freed up time to take on customers that don't suck up a lot of time. I can do 2 customers that don't suck up a lot of time in the same time that I can do 1 customer that does. That's twice as much money. So at the end of the day, you can't sit around and wait on a guy that's proven to be a great worker. Don't get me wrong, he works great, but usually when I see somebody that's a great worker and they're moving about really good and they know how to do what to do without a lot of instruction, then red flags come up. You might think that's crazy, but they do. Red flags come up because I ask myself, well, if this guy's so good, right, then why ain't he doing his own gig? And that's a very valid thing, right? And that's been the case with a lot of guys that have come out here. But I can't wait on the other guy to make a choice. finally he says, and I don't know for sure, but he says, yeah, man, I'm ready to start working next week. But he's told me that a couple times, and I'm not going to keep going through all that, because after that, all the rain last week, I don't, I'm not going to be fooling with all that. And like Chad said in his video, I was watching it this morning, and I left a few comments on there. Chad's video was talking about, the guy that he does have, the guy that he's taking great care of, the guy that he's kind of mentored, for the last, I don't know how long the dude's been working with him, but I told Chad, I'm like, dude, the guy done got too comfortable with you. That's what it looks like from the outside. And who am I? I certainly ain't in no spot to be telling nobody how to handle their employees, But to me, it seems like he done got comfy and doesn't realize what he has until, Chad lets him go or whatever, or he quits. Because for him to make the same kind of money that Chad's paying him, he'll have to work somewhere else for a few years. It's going to set him back a little bit, But then Chad ran into this other guy that he had working with him in the video. He said the other guy, he knows how to move around the properties, knows every, did pretty good. So that's, been the tale of the tape with me. Guys that really know what they're doing, they tend not to, there's usually a reason. And if you look really, really, really hard, there's usually a reason, good or bad, there's usually a reason why they're not doing their own gig. If they're really, really good, and they're with the properties and all, why ain't they doing their own thing? And then you have to go back and look at, okay, what kind of life do they live? What kind of lifestyle do they have? Are they spending their off time in a way that's conducive to being a good employee or a top of the line guy, right? And that's when you start seeing the reasons why they're not doing their own gig. Yeah, it's a lot easier to come out here and work with Ray and, hey, we need that, and that. And, you don't have to, be any, anybody special, or, you don't have to be responsible for nothing. And you don't have to plan for nothing other than just showing up. Whole nother ball game when you're doing your own gig, because you got to plan for me, them, and everybody else. You have the equipment, and you got to have the customers. You got to keep a cell phone. You got to keep the same cell number. I mean, it kills me, the guys that come out here and how many different like, for instance, I know one Zach, right? I got over 9 numbers for a Zach in my phone, and I only know one. Yeah. Same way with Justin. Same way with Drew. Same way with just about everybody's come out here. That they change phones like it's and if you're running your own gig like the last guy was doing, how do you change your number and stay in business? Because if you constantly are changing your number, then people will call that number one time and they'll get a voicemail and they'll move on to something else. But I told Justin that he could work this coming week. This was the beginning of last week. Of course, this is when he was calling me every day that it was raining, wanting to work. But he wasn't calling me the week previous trying to work when it was hot. See, and that's what, bothers me. Guys only want to work when they need rent money or when they need money for a certain task or whatever. Dude left me a long message, on text message, and I was telling him, man, I had to hire a part-timer, dude. I can't depend on you. You're not reliable enough. And he said, you told me I could work this week and blah, 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 man. Just all this stuff that don't matter to me. I don't give a damn about none of that. The only thing I care about at this juncture is getting caught up on the properties. I don't care nothing about baby mama drama, why this and why that and all that. I don't have time to care. Sorry, I just don't, man. Maybe I'm at the end of my rope with him now. I don't know, man. But if an employee or a potential employee thinks they're going to put my back against the wall and they're going to win, they're not going to win. Once my back goes against the wall, then I'm going to make a move. And I feel like this dude has put my back against the wall by procrastinating about coming out here. Whether it be recovering from surgery, I don't have nothing to do with that. The reason why he stopped working out here last year was because of his medical condition. He needed surgery. So I already got left high and dry. Would do one time back in October. And, and he said, I'll get the surgery, man, and I'll be ready to go to work. And I'm like, okay. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. He gets the surgery, and then he seems to be doing everything else except for coming out here and working with me. He ain't really trying he's not reaching, trying to work. He wants to work when he wants to work. He wants to work when he needs rent money. He don't want to work any other time. And yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that with any job. And I was thinking, while he was still recovering from the hip surgery, that he might be able to, ride around and, get familiar with some of the properties while not really having to do a lot. But he wasn't motivated to do that. He just wanted to sit around. Maybe the doctors told him to do that, but I wasn't asking him to work. I was just asking him, hey, man, you need to get familiar with the properties again. But he didn't want to come out here if he wasn't making top dollar. I get it. And, sometimes you have to give a little to get a little. So by him not being proactive and trying to get in the second truck and trying to help me, start the season, well, I've already went into the season now with one truck. I've already made the necessary moves to make to where I don't really have to have the second truck. I have. And if I do run a second truck, I don't need nobody out here full time. I had a couple guys come in the comments and they were saying, well, man, it looks like, from the videos, it looks like you got enough work for, to hire a full timer. I got a full timer. His name's Cam. I'm not going to let the little kid go, because a grown person, doesn't want to, be proactive. So my thinking was, okay, me and Cam can, so far, now the range did change some stuff for me. Me and Cam, we knocking it out, and he don't even know anything. And I'm not as stressed. I'm stressed because I got a new guy out here, but I'm not stressed in the way that I am when I got somebody in the other truck that don't know the properties. Justin just wanted me to give him a list and send him to the properties. He lives in a world of chaotic. Everything's chaotic. There's nothing plotted and planned or nothing. And I don't run the business like that. Because chaotic, only time it gets chaotic out here is when guys make it chaotic. I'm going to try to make it as organized as I can. And it's pretty freaking organized if you ask me. Now, I might, but he was wanting me to give him a list and just send him to the properties he ain't never even been to before. I'm not going to do that. Not ever. And he thought that if he held out long enough that I was eventually going to do that. And I told him I'm not going to do that. You're going to have to ride with me and learn the properties and reestablish the properties. That's all. And he ain't tried to do that yet. He ain't one time said, hey, man, let me ride with you and Cam today. Not one time. It's always, the doctor said I can't go back to work for 3 more weeks. Oh, now, yeah, I broke my foot. Well, you broke your foot. How? So you broke your foot, and, now I'm out for 5 more weeks. Man, I ain't got time for all that, man. I hate it that that's happened, and I wish nobody, ill will, and I want them to heal up and get better. But the business can't run around that kind of thing. I can't, plan around that kind of thing, especially with a guy that has proven not to be that reliable. Knows how to do the work, but there's a lot of other things going on outside of the work, and that's always the problem out here, always. And I'm like Chad, man. I just, I'm 15 years older than Chad, but I'm feeling the same way he's feeling. I'm sick of it, man. And especially this year when I got Cam out here that's learning, and I didn't know that Cam would last as long as he's lasted. And sees that he's not going to be working out here, he's probably going to make it very hard for Cam to come to work, because that's Cam's stepdad. So, and if that's the case, then I'm probably going to catch hell, yeah. But, me and Cam have been able to do a lot of work. And another thing that's changed too in the years, in the last 5 years, is I've been doing a lot more skid work, right? And one skid job can take the place of a customer for the whole year. One day, it makes as much money as a lawn care customer pays me for all year. This might be my guy right here. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be him right there.